We're gonna do this today. Fun stuff. So what I'm talking about is these two Basslines. Let's pop them open. I have two iterations of it because I recorded this video twice and I'm still dicking around with OBS. So anyway, let's listen to the two things on their own. This one I resampled down to audio a couple times and then comped the ones I liked together. And this one is still in its sampler form. So we can kind of look at it. Alright, so what are we going to need to do this? We're going to need a sampler and a big old stack of resamples. You know what, let me just zero this out because otherwise that'll always play. And the reason for that is that I am, instead of doing my side channel on the channels, I've been doing the AU5 trick where you send them to sends only, and on your send down here that everything's going through, you have this little thing set up that a kicker snare MIDI note will trigger that volume envelope, and you can check out his video on that. It's really cool. So let's get to it. I will be using these resamples. Let's take a quick little listen to some of these that we'll be working with. Stuff like that. Let's get to it. I'm gonna crack open a sampler. And for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and use the exact same MIDI clip that I've been using this whole time, just so I don't have to, write you guys a whole new, you know what's going on. And then we'll turn this one back to master so I can delete it and it doesn't do the sends thing. Okay, so it's very important to set your root key so that you can move around notes in your riff and know that you're still being accurate in key. I happen to know that all of these were made in F. Some of them move around and do some weird pitchy stuff, but F is our good safe bet. So it's already kind of fun on its own, but let's get to it. The idea basically boils down to taking your volume to velocity off so that your velocity doesn't control the volume, and using your velocity for the sample offset, which is where within the sample it'll start playing. So you can see every time I'm hitting the keyboard with a different velocity, we're getting a different little part of that. And so we could begin by giving ourselves kind of a randomized one with a velocity plugin set to randomize. And that's alright. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's random, and we have a lot of shit. Hang on, one sec. I was getting that fuzz, and I'm really hoping that what it was it's Tom. My buddy Tom just told me that my computer battery is broken, and it seems to work that if I unplug the laptop, then that stops happening, which is frustrating, but we sally forth. Okay, so now we can just go in here and dial in. We basically use these velocities as a sample selector. Awesome. So you get the idea there. I won't spend too long playing around there. Also important to note is that these samples have a huge amount of low end because how I did them in the sound design was pretty out there. I might do a video on that. So we're gonna hard cut the lows here. And I think they could also probably do with a bit of complexion. And then I happen to have already made a little sub patch, so we'll just drag this over and nice. There we were. That's the idea. That's the modus operandi. And now we get to have some fun, which I'm all about here. Having a little fun, having a little drink. I'm drinking my signature Sunday super sipper. And if you want to make one of those, what you need to do is put a bunch of tequila in a glass and then make some chains. So we'll call this dry. We'll duplicate it and we'll call this, oh, come on. We'll call this 1. And then let's start playing around with some LFOs. We'll do some with stuff in the sampler. We'll do some with effects on the end. We'll just get into it, you know. From this point on, I'm just going to be kind of having fun. So if you think you got the method of it down, you can watch me dick around with it, or you can go start playing with it yourself. That's goofy. Maybe one that's doing like a volume chop. Instead of the pitch here, we'll put it on the volume and make it a square wave. Square wave. Fun. Oh, it's getting that fuzz again. Hang on. Oh, now the battery is too low. Why is it in red at like 60%? I gotta replace that thing. I gotta do it. So I'll just get a couple more of these and we'll call it good because I don't want to blow this video a third time. Maybe some pitching envelope. Those are cool, and we could maybe also add some FM coming in at just about the same. Gnarly. I like that. And you know what? Let's call that good for now. Let's call that good. I wish there was a super cool, really fast keyboard command to just do that, because I do it a lot. Map that to macro 1. Sick, because it's way sick. And then we'll get our handy dandy paintbrush, and let's leave one pass without any of that happening, and then start getting into it over here. Ooh, let's just do a choppy one all the way across and then swizzly ones right here. fun. So yeah, there's the idea. You can make really obnoxious bass lines really quick, really easy. All you need is a fat stack of resamples, and maybe next I'll talk about making a bunch of resamples. I mean, everyone has videos on them, but there's a lot of cool ways you can go, and when you have a lot of different ones, you can do stuff like this, really easy. So I'll also really quick talk about this drum loop, which I had some fun with. I gotta remember to solo myself every time. So there is just a loop, but then where the fun starts happening is with this chain here, this pix one. And I'm using this pixelator, which is basically just a downsampler, and gain reduction, which is a ridiculous it's just an unruly compressor, and both of those are by Joey Sturgis. I really recommend his stuff. He's a metal mix engineer, but that's why his stuff's so brutal. And so this one on its own sounds like... And I think that just adds a whole nice layer of texture. Might even be cool to like pitch that down a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, let's just try frequency shift that down and see what happens. Where do I want it? Let's do it at the end. Let's do it before the EQ, so that anything I create by doing this will be shifted down. Sweet. Tight. Way tight. I think that's all for this one. See you around, players.